You're about to learn how to activate your body's natural system for waking up stronger. Before we get into it, if this sounds familiar, share in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe. You won't want to miss the simple nighttime method we're building toward. So, let's begin with the core question. Why does this happen? Why do we lose strength as the years go by, even when we stay active? To find the answer, we first need to understand the problem. The issue has a scientific name, though its effects are deeply personal. It's called sarcopenia. It may sound complex, but it simply means the gradual age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. It often starts quietly in our 30s and 40s but can progress more quickly after 60. You might feel it as less power when standing, heavier grocery bags, or a constant sense of tiredness that lingers. It's not your imagination, that's sarcopenia in action. This process plays a major role in what we perceive as aging. It slows metabolism, often leading to extra weight around the midsection. It affects balance and stability, raising the risk of falls and fractures. And over time, it chips away at independence and overall energy. But here's the key idea I want you to take away. Muscle isn't only for movement. It's not just about appearance or strength. In modern biomedical research, muscle is recognized as an organ of longevity, just like your heart, liver, or brain. Your skeletal muscles play a vital role in maintaining your overall health. They act as your body's main metabolic engine. When you eat foods containing carbohydrates, your muscles store much of that glucose, helping to regulate blood sugar levels. As muscle mass decreases, this storage ability weakens, which is why sarcopenia is strongly tied to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Muscles also serve as a major source of amino acids, the essential building blocks of the body. When you're ill or injured, your body relies on these amino acids to repair tissues and support immune function. To access them, it breaks down muscle tissue. Those with strong, healthy muscles have a larger reserve, allowing for better recovery and resilience. Muscle tissue also helps control inflammation and maintain hormone balance, making it a true foundation for long-term health and vitality. Losing muscle means losing far more than physical power. It means losing a crucial part of metabolic and immune strength. And this connects directly to what happens during sleep. Each night, your body faces a choice to rebuild or break down. The outcome depends on the interaction of two key hormones. Picture it like a nighttime construction crew. On one side is the hero, growth hormone. During deep, slow-wave sleep, the pituitary gland releases bursts of this powerful repair signal. It travels through your bloodstream, directing your muscles to fix microscopic damage, form new protein fibers, and strengthen tissue. This is when your daily efforts, exercise, nutrition, and movement are turned into real progress. On the opposite side is cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. It's necessary for energy and alertness, helping you wake up in the morning. But it's meant to peak early in the day and decline toward night, reaching its lowest level during sleep. When cortisol is low, it creates the perfect quiet environment for the growth hormone construction crew to get its job done. The problem is modern life has thrown this natural rhythm completely out of balance for so many people. If you go to bed feeling stressed, if you've been looking at bright screens from your phone or television late at night, or if you've had caffeine too late in the day, your cortisol levels can stay elevated. High cortisol at night is like a demolition team showing up at the construction site at the same time as the building crew. While growth hormone is trying to build and repair, cortisol is sending the opposite signal, a signal to break down tissue for emergency fuel. It creates a state of catabolism, of tearing down. This internal tug-of war leaves you waking up tired, inflamed, and with sluggish recovery. You're essentially taking one step forward and one step back every single night. The secret to waking up stronger, then, is not just about getting more sleep. It's about improving the quality of that sleep and creating the perfect internal environment to ensure the construction crew wins the battle every single time. The scientific evidence for this is undeniable. In a landmark study published in the prestigious Annals of Internal Medicine, researchers took a group of individuals and put them on a moderate calorie-restricted diet. Then they had them follow that diet under two different conditions. In the first phase, they were allowed to sleep a full 8.5 hours per night. In the second phase, their sleep was restricted to only 5.5 hours per night. The diet and exercise were identical in both phases. The only thing that changed was the amount of sleep. The findings were remarkable. When participants were deprived of sleep, the amount of fat they lost dropped by half, while the loss of lean muscle more than doubled. In other words, with less sleep, the body held onto fat and broke down valuable muscle tissue instead. This demonstrates that sleep is the key regulator of body composition. Without enough quality rest, maintaining or building muscle becomes nearly impossible. This is where two essential nutrients make all the difference. They don't cause sleep, but they act as powerful supporters, ensuring your sleep is deeply restorative and promotes muscle repair. Now, let's focus on the first crucial vitamin that can transform this nightly process: vitamin D, the ignition key. Most people associate vitamin D with sunlight and bone health, and that's true. It's vital for calcium absorption and strong bones. But in recent years, research has revealed that vitamin D functions more like a hormone than a typical vitamin, playing a vital role in muscle performance and recovery. Inside your muscle cells are specialized receptors known as vitamin D receptors, or VDRs. Think of them as ignition switches. When active vitamin D binds to these receptors, it turns on genetic processes that drive muscle activity. It triggers protein synthesis, converting amino acids from food into new muscle fibers. It also enhances muscle contraction and supports mitochondria, the tiny energy generators inside your cells. Without enough vitamin D, these switches remain off, limiting your body's ability to rebuild and strengthen muscle. Using our construction analogy, imagine growth hormone as the foreman giving orders, and amino acids as the building materials. Vitamin D is the electricity that powers the tools. Without it, the crew and supplies are ready, but nothing works. The rebuilding process stalls. This is precisely why so many people who are deficient in vitamin D experience symptoms like muscle weakness, fatigue, and an inability to build strength. No matter how much protein they eat or how much they exercise, they are missing the fundamental spark that turns those raw materials into a finished product. The scientific literature on this is incredibly compelling and consistent. Study after study has shown a strong link between low vitamin D levels and reduced muscle strength, slower recovery times, and a significantly higher risk of falls and frailty as we age. For instance, a major study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism looked at a large group of older adults and found that those with sufficient vitamin D levels had significantly greater muscle strength and better physical function than those who were deficient. Another study, this one in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research, demonstrated that supplementing with vitamin D improved muscle performance and directly reduced the risk of sarcopenia in adults over the age of 50. But here is the key detail that most people, and even many doctors, miss. The nighttime repair window is when vitamin D's muscle supporting effects become most critical. Why? Because this is the peak time for protein turnover, when your body is actively repairing the microscopic tears in your muscle fibers from the day's activities. Vitamin D is needed to activate the genetic machinery that turns those amino acids into new strong muscle tissue. If your vitamin D levels are low, you are essentially sending your repair crew to work in the dark. You're missing the crucial go signal right when you need it most. So, the obvious question is, how do you make sure you're getting enough? The most powerful and natural source will always be sensible sun exposure. When your bare skin is exposed to UVB radiation from the sun, your body performs a miraculous bit of alchemy, converting cholesterol in your skin into vitamin D. Just 15 to 30 minutes of midday sun exposure on a significant portion of your body can generate thousands of international units or IUs of vitamin D. However, there are significant challenges here. Many of us spend the vast majority of our time indoors. When we are outside, we often wear sunscreen, which is important for preventing skin cancer, but can block vitamin D synthesis by over 95%. Furthermore, if you live in a northern latitude, say anywhere north of Atlanta, the angle of the sun during the fall and winter months is too low for your skin to produce any vitamin D at all. This is why deficiency is so incredibly widespread, affecting an estimated 1 billion people worldwide. From a food perspective, the best sources are fatty fish. Think of wild-caught salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring. These are packed with vitamin D. Egg yolks, especially from pasture-raised hens, are another good source. Many people make the mistake of eating only egg whites for protein, but by doing so, they discard the most nutrient-rich part of the egg, the yolk, which contains vitamin D. Beef liver is another excellent source, though it's not commonly eaten today. The challenge is that even with these foods, the amount of vitamin D they provide is often too low to meet your body's needs, especially if you're already deficient. This is where thoughtful supplementation can make a big difference. For most adults, 1,000 to 2,000 IUs per day is a safe and effective range, but the best way to know your specific requirement is to have your blood levels of 25-hydroxyvitamin D checked by your doctor. Here's a simple but powerful tip. If you take vitamin D, have it with your evening meal that includes some healthy fats, like avocado, olive oil, or nuts. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, so it's absorbed much better when eaten with fat. Taking it at night helps ensure its levels are highest in your blood during deep sleep, right when your body enters its repair phase. Now let's turn to the second key nutrient. If vitamin D is the ignition switch, this one is the calming force that keeps the system steady. Magnesium, the relaxation mineral. Magnesium is one of the most overlooked nutrients, yet it's essential for muscle recovery and deep, restorative sleep. If vitamin D signals the body to repair, magnesium allows it to relax and recover fully. Without enough of it, your nervous system stays on high alert and your muscles can't fully release tension, disrupting both rest and repair. Inside your body, magnesium acts as a helper in more than 300 vital biochemical reactions, many directly tied to energy, nerve communication, and muscle function. Every cell relies on magnesium to produce adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the body's main energy source. ATP only becomes active when it binds to magnesium, meaning that without adequate levels, your cells can't make or use energy efficiently. Your repair crew shows up ready to work, but without power to get the job done. Magnesium also enables muscles to relax. During a contraction, calcium floods into the muscle cells to trigger movement. To release and rest, magnesium pushes the calcium back out. Think of calcium as the gas pedal and magnesium as the brakes. When both are balanced, muscles move and relax smoothly. But when magnesium is low, the brakes fail. You're left with tension, cramps, soreness, or even restless legs that make deep sleep nearly impossible. In short, trying to rest without enough magnesium is like trying to sleep with the lights flickering and noise all around. You never truly unwind. That is what your nervous system feels like. It's overstimulated, restless, and unable to make the transition into the deep, slow-wave sleep stages where all the magic happens. When your magnesium levels are sufficient, it's like someone coming into that room, turning off the bright lights, shutting off the noisy radio, and pulling the shades. It quiets the noise, calms the system, and allows your brain and muscles to finally drift into that profoundly deep and restorative state. The research here is very clear. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences found that older adults who supplemented with magnesium experienced significantly better sleep efficiency, slept longer, and had lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol at night. Another study published in the journal Nutrients showed that athletes with higher magnesium intake had less inflammation and experienced faster, more complete muscle recovery after intense exercise. So where do you find this crucial mineral? It is abundant in many plant-based foods, but due to modern farming practices and soil depletion, the magnesium content in our food supply has declined significantly over the past century. This is why most people fall short of the recommended daily intake. The best sources are dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard. The reason for this is that the magnesium molecule sits at the very center of the chlorophyll molecule, the compound that gives plants their green color, so think green. Seeds are also fantastic sources, especially pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and sesame seeds. Nuts such as almonds and cashews are also packed with magnesium. And yes, high-quality dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao content is a legitimate and enjoyable source. The problem is that it can be difficult to get enough from a diet alone, especially if you have an increased need due to stress or physical activity. This is where supplementation can be very beneficial. If you look at supplements, you'll see many different forms of magnesium. Forms like magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate are generally better absorbed and are gentler on the digestive system than the cheaper and more common magnesium oxide, which can have a laxative effect. A typical dose for supplementation is between 200 to 400 mg per evening. It's always a good idea to start on the lower end of that range and see how your body responds. Taking magnesium in the evening provides a powerful 2-for-1 benefit. It directly supports your muscle recovery and also naturally calms the nervous system, supporting your body's production of melatonin and setting the stage for deeper, more restorative sleep. So now we understand the roles of our two key players. Vitamin D is the ignition switch and magnesium is the calming agent. But here's a piece of the puzzle that often gets overlooked, and it's where the real magic happens. These two nutrients do not work in isolation. Section 3, the powerful partnership. They actually depend on each other in a beautiful biological synergy. Without sufficient magnesium, your body cannot properly activate or utilize the vitamin D you consume. And without enough vitamin D, many of magnesium's benefits for muscle repair are incomplete. Their relationship is a perfect example of how nutrients in the body function like a well-rehearsed orchestra rather than a collection of solo musicians. Here's what is happening behind the scenes. When you get vitamin D, whether from sunlight, food, or a supplement, it doesn't immediately go to work. It first enters your body in an inactive storage form. To become biologically active, it must undergo a 2-step conversion process, first in the liver and then in the kidneys. This process transforms it into its final hormonal form known as calcitriol. This is the form that can actually bind to the receptors in your muscles and turn on the ignition. And here's the crucial link. Every single one of the enzymes responsible for this conversion process is magnesium dependent. This means that if you are low in magnesium, the vitamin D you are taking may just stay stuck in its inactive storage form. It's like having a full tank of gasoline in your car, but a dead battery prevents you from ever starting the engine. The fuel is there, but it's unusable. Let me give you another analogy. Imagine you're trying to power your home with solar panels on the roof. The panels represent your vitamin D intake. They are fantastic at collecting raw energy from the sunday, but you can't plug your television directly into a solar panel. You need a device called an inverter to convert that raw solar energy into the usable alternating current that powers your home. In this analogy, magnesium is the inverter. Without the inverter, you can have panels soaking up sunlight all day long, but inside the lights will stay off. That is exactly how vitamin D and magnesium work together in your body. Magnesium is the key element that allows vitamin D to become active and usable within your cells. The research supporting this connection is compelling. Studies show that individuals with low magnesium levels are much more likely to also have low vitamin D levels, even when their vitamin D intake seems sufficient. A major study in the thus American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that magnesium intake strongly predicts vitamin D status, with higher magnesium levels helping the body activate and use vitamin D more effectively. Another study, published in BMC Medicine, revealed that people low in both magnesium and vitamin D face increased risks of muscle weakness, metabolic issues such as diabetes, and cardiovascular problems. This relationship is crucial for anyone aiming to wake up feeling stronger. If you're taking vitamin D but not maintaining adequate magnesium levels, you may not experience the full benefits. Your muscles may stay sore, your recovery may lag, and your sleep might not feel refreshing. On the other hand, if you focus on magnesium for relaxation but your vitamin D is low, the signals that drive protein synthesis and muscle repair won't reach their full potential. The true benefits appear when both nutrients are present and balanced. Now let's move to the practical side of applying this knowledge. Through food and timing, the best foundation for good health always starts with real whole foods. Supplements can help fill nutritional gaps, but your body is built to absorb and use nutrients that come from natural food sources, where they exist alongside enzymes and other beneficial compounds. Nature rarely provides nutrients in isolation, and our systems are designed to work with that balance. When it comes to vitamin D, fatty fish stand out as the top source. For example, a 6-ounce serving of wild-caught salmon can deliver more than 1,000 IUs of vitamin D. Mackerel and sardines are also excellent choices, and they come with a fantastic bonus prize, a rich supply of omega-3 fatty acids, which are powerful anti-inflammatories that support your muscle cell membranes and overall health. Don't forget whole eggs. The yolk is where the treasure is. It holds the vitamin D along with other crucial nutrients like choline for brain health and B vitamins for energy metabolism. And while it's less common, liver is a true superfood containing a bioavailable form of vitamin D. However, we must be realistic. Even with the best diet, it can be challenging to get all the vitamin D you need from food alone, especially compared to what your skin can produce from sunlight. That's why a food-first strategy should ideally be paired with sensible sun exposure. And for many, especially during the winter or for those with darker skin tones, supplementation is a necessary tool to maintain optimal levels. Now let's turn to magnesium. Here, plants are the undisputed leaders. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are wonderful sources thanks to that magnesium at the heart of chlorophyll. Seeds are incredibly potent. Just a 4 cup of pumpkin seeds can provide almost half of your daily magnesium needs. Sunflower and sesame seeds are great too. Nuts like almonds and cashews are equally valuable, offering both magnesium and healthy fats that help to stabilize your blood sugar levels, which is also important for a peaceful night's sleep. And of course, dark chocolate. A square or two of chocolate that is at least 70% cacao can be a delicious and effective way to boost your magnesium intake before bed. Here's a practical way to weave these foods into your daily rhythm to ensure you're getting both nutrients. For breakfast, you might consider an omelette made with 2 whole pasture-raised eggs cooked with a big handful of spinach. For lunch, a large salad with kale topped with pumpkin seeds and a serving of canned wild salmon or sardines. For dinner, perhaps a fillet of mackerel paired with roasted vegetables drizzled in olive oil. And then, as a calming evening snack, an hour or two before bed, a small handful of almonds or that square of dark chocolate. This eating pattern ensures you are consistently supplying your body with the raw materials it needs. Research consistently shows that people who eat diets naturally rich in these foods not only have better nutrient status, but also lower levels of inflammation and stronger metabolic health. Finally, let's talk about timing. Because when it comes to maximizing your nighttime recovery, it's not only what you take, but when you take it that can make a profound difference. Both vitamin D and magnesium interact with your body's natural circadian rhythm in ways that make timing a key strategy. For vitamin D, the most critical factor is pairing it with fat. Because it's fat-soluble, its absorption can be up to 50% higher when taken with a fatty meal. Taking it with your evening meal is a powerful strategy because it ensures that the active form of the vitamin is circulating in your bloodstream right during that peak repair window overnight. Magnesium, on the other hand, has a very clear sweet spot the evening, specifically 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. This is when you want its calming effects on your nervous system to kick in. It helps to naturally lower cortisol and supports the release of neurotransmitters that quiet the brain, preparing you for deep restorative sleep. So you can create a simple but powerful nightly protocol. At dinner, you include a source of vitamin D either from food or a supplement along with a healthy fat. Then about an hour before bed, you have your magnesium-rich snack or your magnesium supplement. You pair this with a calming pre-bed ritual like dimming the lights and turning off screens. This synchronizes your nutrient intake with your body's hormonal repair window, turning your sleep into a powerful anabolic state where your muscles rebuild, your metabolism resets, and you truly wake up stronger. You've made it to the end, and what you've just learned goes far beyond a few health pointers. You now understand the key principle that many overlook. The gym is where you challenge your muscles, but sleep is where you actually build them. You've discovered how to transform rest into an active phase of repair and recovery. Vitamin D serves as the spark that initiates this process, while magnesium provides the calm, balanced environment needed for it to work effectively. This is about taking control of your health at its core, the strength to support your energy, independence, and vitality for years to come. Change doesn't have to happen overnight. Real progress starts with small, consistent actions. So here's a simple challenge: choose one thing and apply it tonight. Maybe it's having a few almonds before bed, or taking your vitamin D supplement with dinner and a healthy fat. That single step is how lasting change begins, one deliberate choice at a time. And to join others on the same path, share the phrase "waking up stronger" in the comments below. It's a great way to stay accountable and connected. If this message resonated with you, please like the video and subscribe so we can continue growing together. Remember, your strength runs deeper than you think. Every night offers a new chance to rebuild, recover, and wake up stronger.